So it's explaining the union of the dafke in Midbar Yehuda in Ayin Sorim. So dafke there, as it were, is paradoxically is nisoira the tfilas osher. Dafke there in the Medina Chareva. And of course, the paradox is that that's the greatest lack. But the Maisa is, as we pointed out, this, we gave several perspectives on this, and one of them was that the higher levels, not Medina Chareva, which is in Hazeh, and Ayin Sorim, they don't feel the lack. And if yes, it's marginal. Malachim, Srafim, gewaltige Avoide, but life goes on in an endless cycle, and it's quite fine as is. But Dafke Nelam Hazeh and Medina Chareva, so here is the Medina Pleinis Chareva V'hi Shalach. So the Osher, what is he saying? He's in Metzias, the Yid Lamata. He's in the Medina Chareva. So why is he an Osher? He's the only one that's exploiting the economic situation and became a billionaire. He's in the Medina Chareva. He's Tfilas Osher because he lacks for nothing. He doesn't have any lacks. You read the stories of Rabbi Mendel. In fact, Rabbi Mendel said that in a way he misses the Gulag days. It was a lot purer. And this Maran, who was in 54 days in captivity, told me. I mean, she said what she said, that in Gaza, she looks back, she calls it the Gaza drug, because in a sense, they took everything away. All she had was you. Mamash Atzmos. Philis Osher, she was rich because she had nothing and wanted nothing and relied on nothing. Nothing but the Eibishter alone. So it's paradoxically in the Medina Chareva that there is this lack, but the Osher is not affected by any of the lacks, except for one thing. It's your Medina, it's your desire. Therefore, shetibone. So he said that was the beer until Eis Dalet. We gave other perspectives too to explain this, to offer explanation. This was one of them. The other perspective we gave, a possible explanation, is that why Dafke here in the Medina Chareva is the Tfilas Osher, because since here there is a lack for a Jew, ultimately, as soon as there's a krechts, and there's a lack, be'emes, what's the lack? The lack is the Eibishter's lack. It's only a Yid. Only a Yiddish krechts, and that's Gimel Tammuz. The Yom of Gimel Tammuz, the Yiddish krechts is the Tshuva Ilah. Tshuva Ilah is about the Eibishter, about you and your will. And that's because a Jew and a Sham is rooted in Atzmo, so that sigh in the end comes from the deepest place in the Neshama, the Yechida. That's the Tfilas Osher, that's the Bekeach of the Yudal of ניסן Maimer, that it's about your purpose and your truth, which is the only truth. So that was a different perspective on why Dafke in Medina Chareva, they're not in contradiction, but is the Tfilas Osher. And Lois Daled, he adds a whole union, a whole incredible beard here. That the Tfilas Oshir, paradoxically, the paradox continues, is in the Meidani. Meidani is not a state of Ashirus in the conventional sense. Usually we speak about Ashirus, even Baruchnius. Ashirus means where the mind and the heart is engaged and deep. Al Kaponim, the Meidani is the Tfilas Oshir, that's the Nekuda. Dafka, because he's not clouded by any cheshboinus. And as soon as the Yid starts to make cheshboinus, so naturally there's all kinds of cheshboinus and things that are missing, or distractions that he has that are not good. But this moment of instinctual, he wakes up, there's only one thing here. Who's here? The Yid. And he gives a cry out, Moedan Yelefanecha. So that is the Nekuda Atzmi. And the rest of the day and the whole tefillah is really to reveal that I'm yours, I'm a Yid, to reveal that in all the levels of experience and consciousness and engagement, all the way down to, as he says at the end of the second paragraph, Hanik behem minik derech eretz. Takes it with him, and it illuminates his davening, and it illuminates his learning after davening, the base of Knesset, the base of Medrash, the Gemara says, and even and especially, and that's the whole point of it all, that lahanik beng minik derech eretz, it's all permeated with one nekuda of meidani, which in the end he's saying is, Eibishter, it's your world, the Medina Chareva, Gzoir Shetibane. That's expressed in the meidani, without any of those words. You, meidani lefanecha. Hi, then that's why there's no name of the Eibishter there, because the name is already a madrege, it's already an explanation, it's already an inyan, whether it's rotzen, the Eibishter's rotzen, the Eibishter's seichel. The fanecha, hide in any name, to atzmus. Atzmus is barach, the loy itzvus b'shem, the loy yisramas b'shem osvekotz. That can't be conveyed in any name, or even alluded to in any letter, or koitz, any stroke of a letter. The fanecha before you. So now continuing in the third paragraph now of Ois Dalet. This is a maamer of Ches Nisan at a Pesach Shabbos Agdol. Binyan ze matzino gam and of course Yitzias Mitzrayim is every day. Binyan ze matzino gam b'Yitzias Mitzrayim, the same minyan. How so? She'oid koidem ha'yitzim Mitzrayim yodu. Even before they left Mitzrayim, the Yidden knew the promise that Eibishter gave to Avram, and then they'll go out with great wealth, which happened. That there wasn't one Jew. It's a certain kind of strong, big donkey to unim. Mikaspa v'zov shel Mitzrayim, loaded with the silver and gold of Mitzrayim. And by the sea, it was even more. V'hainu shascholas eitzim Mitzrayim. So going out of Mitzrayim, that's the birth, right? So they were Ashirim. Shas nasu b'nei Yisrael b'tzias chadosha. Yitzias Mitzrayim is when Yidden became a new entity. This is based on the Navi Yecheskel, who describes Yitzias Mitzrayim as Leidas Am Yisrael. So how was the birth? The birth was missing nothing. Ba'ifin shel rechush gadol dafke, shezeh omayim with the matzav shel hashirus. That's the Nekud of Meidani. That raw instinctual moment, it's not about what I need. It's who I am. What am I, Meyid? And that's a part of you. So we're saying now, this is the Avodah every day with Yitzias Mitzrayim. It starts off with Ashirus, Tfilas Osher, K'mayim Marazal B'chol, Doiva Doiva B'chol, Yoiva Yoim Chayiv, Odom Liris Esatzmei. Ki'ilu hu Yotza Yoim Mitzrayim. Mishnah. We say in the Agada that every day, every generation, every day, a person has to see that he himself went out today from Mitzrayim. Then what's it referring to? Explains the Alter Rebbe, the Koi al Yitzias Handefesh Olikis. It's the redemption, the exodus, the liberation of the neshama. B'maisa haguf, from the imprisonment in the body. Where does that full freedom happen? B'shas kriya shema tefillah. But it begins, he's saying, with what? With the Meidani. But now he's speaking b'chalolis in davening. Shegam kishenitzoyim b'matzav yorod. Made a dike word, friends. I made a dike word. That even if he's in the low situation, chulu, etc., yoidim elechatchila, the Jew knows at the outset, shetzrichim lovi l'mayim dematzav the rechush godel dafke. The Yidden were told this before, and they were in a terrible matzav for a long time. Golus Mitzrayim, Shibud Mitzrayim. But they knew all along that it's going to lead to Rechush Godel. And what's the Rechush Godel? That's the Tfilas Osher. That the Yid will be pearl, the Davish will decree Shetibone. Shegam Shebemayim the Matzav Shal Medina Chareva. That even though there's a matzav currently is Medina Chareva, that was Golus Mitzrayim, the servitude. But they knew all along that the Ashkare Kein Yitzim Rechush Godel. Yesh not tefillah shetibon. There is the tefillah because of the assurance, as he said in the Taich of Kein Bakodesh Chazisicha, that it's going to be that way. Shetibon beginas binyan ad day ad dafke. Not only we're going to fix the golus, but it's going to be beyond the golus. Binyan ad day ad. Because dafke nas mitzias chadosh. So every day he has his Yitzias Mitzrayim, which starts off with the Tfilas Osher, and he becomes a new entity. Gzor Shetibone. What's built, his whole day is rebuilt. Al Kol Hayom Kuloi. The whole day is built, suffused with the Rechush Godel, the Nakuda of Meidani Lefanecha, connecting to Atzmos, which we end will be fully realized. Atzmos is Baruch revealed Lamat. Quite an amazing maamar. Has to be learned and learned and learned again, just to hear the words again. Here, even in a matzav yorud, in a low situation that a yid is, he's fighting with the Yetzer Hara in Golus Mitzrayim, and he's an evet to Paroi, but he knows v'achar ken Yetzer b'rechush Godel. He knows that at the outset. And the Rechush Godel, that's the Tfilas Osher, which is Gzor Shetibone. This is open to a lot of personal application. Every mind, but particularly this. He said a lot of thoughts. Let's continue. That you have to do. Can't do that for you. I say, V'apizeh yesh levai mashakos b'tzavos adivosh. So there's a sefer Tzavot. The Rivosh is the Baal Shem Tov. Rabbi Yisrael Baal Shem Tov. Tzavot Rivosh is Savo, his instructions. So he writes there, they bring in his name, Sheyachshev Koydem Atfilo. I was going to explain this further for us. What does it mean to daven like this? That a person should think before davening, Shumuchon, Lomos, Be'oise Atfilo, he's ready to die in that davening. Machmas HaKavona, because of his deep intent and longing, like Nodav and Avi, Kleis and Nefesh. And he continues, says the Baal Shem Tov, Ube'emes, he said about this himself, Shechesed Godel, it's a great kindness of the Eibishter that he's still alive after davening. Sheshem Yizborach Nicen Lekoyach, Umashlim Atfilah, he could even finish his davening, V'chai, and he's still alive. That's what the Baal Shem Tov said. Well, the Chur in the movement, it would appear not understood at all. Ich ef shaloima, what does it mean? Shaloyoda ma'yil achri atfilah. He didn't know what's going to be after davening every day. Im yomos bois atfilah. No, if he'll die, or there's no guarantee the Eibishter does a chesed. If it's a chesed that the Eibishter does, it's not a guarantee. Oisha HaKadosh Baruch Hu yaseh chesed godel v'yashlem atfilah v'chai. It's a big kindness that doesn't know if it's coming. Talking about what's going to be tomorrow, that he's going to be able to finish his davening and be alive. That's how he goes into davening. Doesn't know if he's going to survive his davening. But there's a whole avodah after davening. So Richli is saying that avodah the chol hayom, the Eibishter wants this from him. That's why he's here. He's not saying simply, understand the question. The Mashant is not saying you don't know if you're going to be living the next second. That's true. Every second, Kurlan Neshama Tahalil Ka, for every neshima, for every breath, we have to thank the Eibush that I'm alive. That's not what he's saying. That's not what he's saying. That's true. That's always. Every second we have to be grateful we're alive. But Hashem is saying that he's doing his avodah satzvila, and he doesn't know whether he's going to be alive afterwards. So he's doing his avodah, but your avodah is then to learn and haling bem derech eretz. How could you say that your avodah satzvila is such that it's a chesed if he's going to be alive afterwards? That's not avodah satzvila. Avodah satzvila surely is integral to the next steps, like we said before, to bring it into the basic knesset, basic medrash, and then haning bem derech eretz. Kol hayom kuloi. Just finished saying the last line of the previous paragraph. Mitzias chadosha every day, and that has to permeate the new chayis and kol hayom kuloi. The Baal Shem Tov says no. His davening is ba'ifan kazeh that he doesn't know it's going to be a kol hayom kuloi, and if there is, it's a chesed elyon. That's not the kavanah. That's not what davening is supposed to lead to. Understand the question? Again, after davening, has to be the seder of the avodah of the whole day. The basic knesset, the basic medrash, and from there into the world parnasa. That's what the whole davening is to lead to, and he doesn't know whether it's gonna get past tefillah. And if yes, it's a chesed. What kind of avodah is this? So, Al Pi Kol Anadra is understood. How so? Let's continue. Opinion was Shevetchilas Avodas Hayom Kedem Atfilo. At the beginning of the day, Yid wakes up before he davens. Yos and Maimed the Matzav Nomoch is in a low state. Now, he means here, just by mere virtue of the fact that his neshama is not revealed in him. Neshama ba'apa, as he said before. And he was neglavasa, so then the neshama goes into the fingers, but the neshama ba'apa is even after neglavasa. Before a person davens, the neshama has not penetrated, fully integrated into the body. So it's a maimed or matzav yorud. We're not speaking, I guess included in that also, just the reality of where the Jew is holding in his life. And the Vedas Hashem and so on. But upon him, even without that, just the matzah of the neshama, just everybody, even the tzaddik, the neshama before davening has not filled, permeated, suffused the body consciousness. So what's the story there? Behold telovai. Look at these words. Shebetchilas havedas hayoyim again. Kedem atfila biyoyse b'mayim the matzav nomoch. This is the Medina Charev. This is the Midbar Yehuda. Behold telovai letzimoy nachi godol. It's dafke there that he has the great thirst, the mili bashamoyim v'im chalei chafatzti ba'oretz, like he said from the Alter Rebbe, that he doesn't want Gan Eden Elyon, Gan Eden Atachten. There in this Maim of the Matzav, like she said nothing but him alone, you alone. There continues, Ela shitzimoin ze yochel is ba'ofen sheyovim is lekleis hanefesh mamesh. This longing, if it's true and sincere, could taka bring and should, in Indian he says, to kleis hanefesh mamesh, you and nothing else. As that in the words of the Baal Shem Tov, lomos b'isat tefillah, to pass away in that tefillah, in that davening which follows right after his medani. Says the Baal Shem Tov, this is taka to say that how it should be. It's got to be the tefillah's ashir, it's got to be the nekuda. The Tzomoh in Tzomoh Nafshi. And the Eibusha says, okay, I'm going to help you. We're going to take that, and we're going to bring that and ground it and bring it and suffuse your life with it. So here comes the great kindness of the Eibusha. Sheshem Yisborach and ניסן Leitzmeridike. Sheshem Yisborach ניסן Lekeach Umashli Matfila V'Huchai. The Eibusha gives him the koach to bring this Tzomoh Nafshi into the Hemshech HaTfila V'Huchai. Hainu, this is not something else. Oh, let's Shakadosh Baruch Hu Memales Tfilos. The Eibusha helps him to fulfill his Tfilah ha'tshek v'ha'tzimoin dimili b'shamoyim. That's his desire for the dovke b'atzmusa yisborech to be connected to his very essence, which is what all he wants. Shezel, the tefillas ashir, the dovke bo yisborech. So the Eibusha helps him to fulfill that, but not al yidei kleis hanefesh chas v'shalom. Ella, that he should retain this connection and this tzimoyin, this nekuda throughout the day. First year that he learns Torah from after davening, from Beis HaKnesses to Beis HaMedrash, and Kiyam HaMitzvahs, at the Hanig Behem, meaning Derech Eretz B'meshach Kol Hayom Kula. So the Eibusha helps him to fulfill his request, but in such a way, not Kleis HaNefesh, but to bring the Kleis HaNefesh, that Simoyin, and that connection, that Nekuda, to every moment of his day. Gewalt. Shezeh ma shedei atfila nase metzias chadosha sheyesh lo kiyum. This is the Tibona eternally, on a personal level. This is his Geula. He lives with the Geula. He lives, this is what the Rebbe spoke later in the later years, live in Mashiach dik away. This is exactly what it is. Here becomes a new entity that endures, not he leaves the goof behind, but that the goof and the world is permeated with this kiyum atzmi, with this eternal truth. This is similar to what the Tfilas Osher is that it be built, that it's eternal, because Atzmos is drawn and revealed into the world. So the Rebbe is saying in personal avodah, that's his matziv. This is living with Mashiach. That's what he's saying. Like the Rashbi.
So the Kabbana is not the Ratzu per se, but the Shuv. The Ratzu b'shvil the Shuv.
Yeah. It's quite an extraordinary maamar, my friends. Let's go further. Wow. I have to call the Chaver that was there, Tavshin. I'm sure they remember it well.
It doesn't, as he's trying to say, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't have the Ratzu. You should have the Ratzu, but the Ratzu should be the Shvil the Shuv.
The Shuv is not a Shuv without the Ratzu. Without the Ratzu, you're part of the problem. You are the problem. But with the Ratzu, then the Lamhazim, the Kol Yonim become the way they should be. Binyan Adayad, which is the very words, right, for Chasna, which is a reflection of our relationship with Eibishter. Binyan Adayad. Otherwise, it becomes a very shaky edifice that's always being eroded. To think about this each one. It doesn't need, you don't need here explanations in the scholar. You need applications in your own personal life. So this Shabbos, no one's going to be finished davening until 1 or 2. After having, then sit down and verbringen is a whole different verbringen. That's what it's supposed to be. So after the whole Avidas Tefillah, he looks at this whole week, and then Shabbos he's really internalizing, and then to share with his chaverim, demand from each other, verbring. That's a chassidische verbringen. Yeah, let's go a little further. And from this, we demand from, and similar to this, is demanded from every Yid. I know, a person shouldn't say, in the place and this Tfilas Osher, that he wants nothing, not Gan Eden, not Tachten, but you and your will alone. So a person shouldn't say, it's a very high madrege, and it's only shaykh to people of extraordinary distinction. As we just quoted, Admo and the Altrebe that we just quoted. And a person shouldn't say, who is he? Lashon in Tanya, which is a little bit based on the Megillah. Asher Orav Liboy, whose heart is so arrogant or so content, really. Logesh has to approach the holy and say, I have a place there, you belong there. A person could think that. What connection does he have to Mile Bashemoyim? Says the Rebbe, that's not true. Why is it not true? He knows his matzav, it is true. But it isn't. Since this inyan was revealed by the Rebbeim, really the Rebbe that did. Shaykh means gam l'kol b'nei Yisrael. This is shaykhs in some measure. And it could shaykh to every year that all he wants is the Eibishter and what the Eibishter wants. How does he come to such an avodah? Sharinyon ishal nasi Yisrael hu. Because what's the inyan of a nasi? So the Eibishter told Moishe Rabbeinu, Klum nasati lecha gdula. Did I give you greatness for any other reason? Ela b'shvil Yisrael. It's all for Yidden. So that which the Nasi has and reveals, it shaykhs to everyone. This quote we just said was said with respect to Moshe Rabbeinu. Rashi brings it in Chumash. Nasi Arisha Yisrael, the first Nasi, in the Lashon the Rambam now, no, the Lashon Medrash, Avi and Verabon Shalkon Anavim, the father and master of all the Nevi'im, all the Nesiim, he means, which follows. So therefore, Mizem Woven Shagam in the Kleis HaNefesh, this Inyan that we're speaking, that the Rabbeim embodied and revealed of Mili Bashamayim, that Kivan Shenis Gala there Bisein and Nisiyeno, since it was revealed to the Rabbeim and revealed elsewhere, the Rebbe says in the Torah and the Maimer, in which they invested themselves and they gave it to us. So there has to be, it's applicable and it's shaykh to everyone. Each one that is connected to the Rebbeim, Sherak Shimam Higi Aleim, only their name, they heard about the Rebbe. It's a Lashon also of the Megillah. That Mordechai's name, renown, was known throughout all the Medinas, the Medina Chareva. All right, we'll continue. This is yet to pick a mime to learn. I mean, every mime, but this is not a bad one to learn about Peh. Friends. Okay. Today's story. You have to appreciate it. If Gedol of Nis the Gemaim is based on the Kapitel Samar Gimel, the Nasi gives everything. Everything. The highest Madrigas, everybody, every Yid.